The World Economic Forum has launched an independent investigation into its outgoing founder, Klaus Schwab, after a whistleblower letter, reportedly from current and former staff, accused Schwab of financial misconduct and abuse of organizational resources. The letter also implicates Schwab's wife, Hilda, for allegedly using WEF funds for her own personal travel. Schwab denies all allegations, but abruptly resigned from his board position, cutting short his planned tenure through 2027. The WEF board unanimously approved the probe, which will be overseen by its Audit and Risk Committee with external legal counsel, emphasizing fiduciary responsibility while stating the claims remain unproven pending investigation. Joining us now, I think, is the one person that I could trust talking about this with, Seamus Bruner, Director of Research at the Government Accountability Institute and author of Controligarchs, Exposing the Billionaire Class, Their Secret Deals, and the Globalist Plot to Dominate Your Life. Seamus, I'm sorry if the first person I think of when I think of Klaus Schwab is Seamus Bruner, because you are the person who has done all this research on these guys, and now I just associate you two. So break down this story. What do you think of, how it came about and the letter that ensued?
Yeah, well, I forgive you, Chanel. That's okay. This is great news that Schwab is officially all the way out. He had stepped back into a non-executive role. I mean, he has been the dictator overseeing the World Economic Forum for over half a century. Last year, he stepped back into a non-executive chairman role. Now he's all the way gone. And this is great news that they're investigating. Now, I'll hold my breath because all of the allegations I've seen so far seem a little thin. It's paying for personal travel, having masseuses come give them personal massages and things like that. It's not good. I mean, the crime in the private sector is called embezzlement. But Klaus Schwab has been lining his own pockets with World Economic Forum money for years. He's been hiring family members, putting them on the payroll at very cushy gigs, things they may not be totally qualified for. He set up a few companies where the World Economic Forum would pay those companies, so it cycles back to him that way. And then just his palatial estate where he lives in Davos is right up against the World Economic Forum's headquarters, the campus. So all huge improvements to bring all the billionaires in to the World Economic Forum every year also benefit him and his mansion and his estate. All the infrastructure upgrades that are needed to make the World Economic Forum run happen right next door to his mansion. So the Schwabs have been getting rich off the World Economic Forum. What do I think is really going on here? I think he wanted to die in office like the Pope. He wanted to run the World Economic Forum. That's actually what he said. He wanted to, do it until he died. The bylaws said that he could. There's no process for removal other than his resignation. So I think he's being forced out. I think he's probably a little old, lost his touch. That's why he stepped back last year. And this is just one way to make sure he relinquishes full control.
I guess eating all those bugs wasn't doing much for his maintaining his youth. What I think I'm hearing you say, though, is, you're saying that the investigations that we know of so far are kind of thin, even though they're, bad in the details by themselves. But it sounds like you're saying this may be an effort to shift public scrutiny away from what's really going on at WEF.
Yeah, well, I mean, in addition to the fact that he's old and, losing his touch, he carries a lot of baggage. Like he said, everyone other than Seamus Bruner, they associate with Klaus Schwab, eat the bugs. You will own nothing and be happy. So this is a way that they can try to turn over a new leaf. I mean, you've got the young global leaders where he says they have penetrated the cabinets of all of the global governments with people like Trudeau and Macron in France were young global leaders. So if they can turn the page from Klaus Schwab, they can pretend like they're not trying to make sure that you own nothing for the rest of your life and eat the bugs. They're still going to be doing these things, of course. The new head of the World Economic Forum is, new boss, same as the old boss. Is a former Nestle CEO who
Brabeck.
drains towns. Yeah, Peter Brabeck. He drains American towns to sell water back to you at a 2,000% markup. So you will own nothing and be thirsty under the new chairman.
What's scary about that is that, you know, I did a monologue on him a couple days ago on the show. And what you're saying is, you know, that little line you just threw out, it's not very far from the actual agenda, at least if these people had full control. But, you know, I think people underestimate just how powerful this group is. And they're almost trying to hide the fact that they're this powerful now because, like you say, it's the same business. They just threw up a banner that said under new management with this effort to kind of, I guess, baptize people's memory or understanding of what this Davos crowd is really all about.
Yeah, it's exactly right. I mean, you know, on the one hand, the globalist world order is dying off and is being, you know, thwarted by populism left and right all around the world. You know, the USA, for example, or Argentina and all across Europe, populist leaders are surging. And so there's been a rebranding going on. You see it with other controligarchs too. All of a sudden, Mark Zuckerberg is ostensibly MAGA, and a lot of these left-wing oligarchs are trying to pretend like they're actually, well, I'm libertarian leaning right. Well, you know, we'll see about that, I guess. So yes, the World Economic Forum desperately wants to rebrand, but they're not going anywhere. It rakes in $500 million in sponsorships and member fees every single year. So that's a huge cash generating machine. That's why I'm a little underwhelmed by the allegations against Klaus Schwab. I mean, it's like massages and personal travel and you know, spending it on luxury items. I mean, that's kind of like par for the course for these guys.
It's just like Hunter Biden. I mean, they were like, oh, you know what? We're going to get him on lying on a gun form. It's like, you know, for those of us who followed the Hunter Biden story, it was, are you kidding me? That's what you're going to get him down, take him down for? Not all the influence peddling that he clearly was engaged in while Vice President Biden was in office. You're right. This is a pattern. Okay, last question. What would you do if you were to add a chapter to Controligarchs? What would that chapter be, given what you've seen with big tech, WEF, these new developments? What's your extra chapter that you would add to the book?
Yeah, well, I had you know, the final chapter, well, the penultimate chapter, chapter 9, was the dystopian present, all about AI and metaverse type stuff. I would spend a lot more time on AI back then, and I am now. So there's a lot of promise and a lot of hope with AI. There's a lot of sinister things that can happen with it too.
That's a good point. Seamus Bruner, a pleasure as always. Thank you.
Thanks, Chanel.